So the developers behind the Maneater game, Tripwire Interactive, did a panel at PAX West this year, which I believe was at the end of August. And, you know, this is October, it's been a busy month. Anyways, they revealed a bunch of different gameplay elements, including 3 of the bosses. They also did a Q&A with the audience where they revealed a bunch of new details about what we can expect from Maneater. Hey guys, this is Chris with B&B Gaming. Welcome back, and I hope you're doing amazing today. Thank you for taking the time to check out this video, and thank you for your likes, your shares, your comments. Definitely appreciate it. So to start with, guys, I watched the live stream and I basically took notes on it, and if you want to watch it for yourself, I'll leave a link to it in the description below. So to start with, let's talk about traversing the world of Maneater. The first thing they revealed is that your shark is actually going to have a ping that's going to alert you to different nutrient caches. Now you're probably wondering, what do we need the chests for? The chests are actually going to contain important nutrients such as mutagen X that you're not going to be able to necessarily find from other wildlife. Another thing they revealed about the world is that it's going to have a day-night cycle, and this is actually going to affect gameplay. Just like in nature, there are creatures that only come out at night, and usually the big nasty ones. It's going to be the same way in Maneater. One way they talked about the day-night cycle affecting Maneater is that at night the humans are actually going to pull back more to the beaches, and I'm assuming there's going to be a couple party barges, and there's actually going to be less people in the water. Another thing Tripwire talked about is that the size of your shark is actually going to play an important role as far as what you can interact with in the world, and they gave an example of different boats. So you got to be a certain size to be able to jump up on certain size of boats, etc. Another feature they talked about are the bounty hunters. Now in Maneater, you can either choose to munch on the local wildlife or the local people life, and there's going to be consequences both with the wildlife and with the people life. In this case, if you munch on too many people, they're going to send bounty hunters after you. Now with the bounty hunters, you can choose to either hide or you can choose to try and defeat them. Now the bounty hunters themselves are going to come out in progressively stronger waves, but if you defeat the strongest bounty hunter, you're actually going to get exclusive evolutions by doing so. However, there are going to be consequences to this. If you do defeat all the bounty hunters in a region, that region's going to be quarantined, so there's going to be far less people on the water and they're going to be harder to terrorize. So the Maneater game itself is actually going to have 7 different regions, and each one of these regions is going to have its own species of wildlife and, according to Tripwire, different economic environments. And they gave the example of a dude swimming in his underwear and went on to say that, you know, if you do that, that's cool. So they actually showed the names of the different regions in the video. The first one is Crawfish Bay. Then we have Fawtick Bayou, Dead Horse Lake, Golden Shores, Sapphire Bay, Prosperity Sands, Caviar Key, and the Gulf, which is going to be the deep ocean. And at this point, you're probably wondering, you know, are we going to have to follow an A-B path here, or are we going to be able to go wherever we want to? And according to Tripwire, you can break off the path anytime and go to any region, but the game is going to be significantly harder. And they also reveal that each region is going to have its own specific rewards, so in this case, evolutions. As far as activities go, they didn't really give us details about it, but we can see in this screenshot that we have landmarks, nutrient caches, we can also terrorize. So you're probably wondering what terrorize and population control is. I'm assuming terrorize has to do with the humans, and population control would be wildlife. So each one of the 7 regions in the Maneater game are going to have its own what they're calling King of the Sea, so apex predator. And you've actually seen this guy, the alligator, in some of the different gameplay footage. They also revealed 2 other kings of the sea, the toxic barracuda and the shipwrecking sperm whale. And they actually talked about this guy quite a bit, that he has these anchors hanging off his tail, and that she uses them as a weapon against us. And evidently to sink ships. And you're probably wondering, can we fight these apex predators at any time we want to? And Tripwire said you can fight them at any life stage, but the battle is going to be significantly harder. So if you're just a pup, you probably don't want to take on the sperm whale in the deep ocean. Now each one of these apex predators are going to have their own specific evolutions that you can earn as a reward for defeating them. And in the Q&A session, someone asked in the audience whether they're going to be adding DLC bosses, and the developer said that they'll be finishing up the game first and then they'll be looking at DLC, but they do have lots of ideas. Next in the live stream, they talked about the 3 core components of Maneater: eat, grow, and evolve. As far as eat goes, first thing they talked about is that they tried to make people look less human, so we'd feel less like a giant murdering machine running around eating people, and they made them more, I guess, cartoony or something. Another thing they revealed is that we are going to run into divers in the water that are going to be hunting us, and I'm assuming they'll be extra tasty. Another thing they revealed is that we're going to have to make a choice about what we want to eat in this game, and that bigger wildlife and bigger boats with people in them are going to be higher risk, but they're also going to be higher reward. And they gave the example of other large marine life like the swordfish that evidently can be pretty dangerous. As far as the wildlife we're going to be chomping on, they showed small fish, swordfish, other sharks such as hammerhead sharks, and at this point you're probably wondering, why would you take the risk of taking on these bigger animals and boats and stuff? And they said you're actually going to need to defeat some of these bigger wildlife and boats, etc., to get certain nutrients to be able to upgrade your shark. Now under grow, they talked about the different size of your shark and the life evolution you're going to go through. And basically you're going to start out as a pup, then you're going to go to a teen, an adult, and they wouldn't talk about any other sizes. But what they said is that we could potentially grow beyond what nature intended. And they talked about this video they saw on YouTube, and I looked for it and I couldn't find it, but they talked about, they saw this, I think it was a 20 or 25 foot shark that was bitten in half. So there must be some kind of huge shark out there, and an audience member mentioned the megalodon, and Tripwire just said it's going to be a surprise. Now at this point you might be wondering what exactly is going to cause you to grow in Maneater. And basically it's simple. All you need to do is just keep eating and getting different nutrient caches, and we're just going to keep getting bigger and bigger. Now finally, under evolution, they talked about evolutions. And basically these are like different armors and different abilities that you can give your shark. And here for the first time they revealed the bone armor evolution. And as far as the evolutions go, they said you can mix and match them. So they gave the example of having the bone armor on your head and something else on your fins and something else on your backside, so you can mix and match them. They also hinted that there are several stealth evolutions. They also gave the example of electric stunning evolutions, so like catfish whiskers that will stun enemies that get too close to you. Now at the end of the PAX West panel, they actually took some questions from the audience members. Now honestly, in the recording you can't really hear the question, so I just took the answers and kind of assumed what the question was. Anyways, the first question I'm assuming was, are any of these locations in Maneater based on real locations around the Gulf? And basically Tripwire said that all the locations in Maneater are fictional locations. The next question I'm assuming was, is there going to be co-op or multiplayer in Maneater? And Tripwire responded and said that Maneater itself is a single-player game, but they do have hopes that Maneater will do really well, and they'll be able to add to it over time. The next question I'm assuming is, will there be DLC for Maneater? Here Tripwire said that they don't have any official plans for DLC at this point, but they also said that when their teams will be finishing up on Maneater, that they'll start looking at what DLC they can create for the game, and they'll be looking for community feedback. The next question, I'm assuming, was how far you can get on land. And here they said you're not going to grow legs and be able to walk into the city and get a pizza. Another question I'm assuming is, can you break off the path and go where you want to in this game? Tripwire responded and said that Maneater is story driven, so they're going to want you to go from place A to place B, but again, that you can break free of it, but you're probably going to die really fast. Now, as far as the release date for Maneater, they said their goal is before E3 2020, but it sounds like it could be coming out sooner than that. They've kind of given some indications that we can expect some stuff, more videos, more screenshots, etc. as we're going forward here. To me, I wouldn't be surprised if it comes out in, early 2020, maybe February, something like that. In addition, I know a lot of you have been wondering if Maneater PS4, Maneater Xbox One is going to be happening. Again, they said they have no official announcement for those platforms. However, if you look back at their other responses about DLC, etc., it sounds like their main focus, they're a small team, only 40 people, are working on the game for PC, and it sounds like once that's done, I'm assuming we're going to see Maneater PS4, Maneater Xbox One, or maybe even Maneater PS5 and Maneater Xbox 2. I don't know what it's going to be called. So what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Is Maneater a day one buy for you? Are you going to wait for the reviews? Are you going to wait for the console versions? Let me know what you think. For me, I'm really interested in this game. I think it could be a lot of fun. Tripwire has a good reputation for coming out with really fun games that also have good depth to them as well as far as mechanics go. And I'm interested to see how this comes together in what they're calling a Shark ARPG.